Welcome to day 5, our second practice day. So let's recap. How did we get here? So if you remember, on day 2, we learned about the proper way to prepare for the yoga practice. We learned our easy sitting pose. Then we learned about the warrior breath, where you constrict your throat and create that distinctive HA sound that will help us to warm up our body as well as help us focus the mind as we go through the yoga practice. Then we learned about the child's pose or the resting pose, something that we can always go into at any time during the practice. And then finally, we learned about the corpse pose, which you take at the end of each practice. And then you had a chance to practice all of that. So how did that go for you? Then the next day, the following day, we learned a sequence of yogic warm-up exercises, or a routine otherwise known as the Sun Salutations. And hopefully you had a chance to practice that sequence together with proper inhalation and exhalation. Today, in our second practice day, we're going to combine all of these elements together into a mini yoga practice. And I will guide you all the way throughout the practice. So, grab your blocks, grab a bolster or a pillow if you need one, and meet me in an easy sitting pose. So remember, legs are positioned on our ankles. Lengthen your spine. Place your hands on your knees, maybe palms on the knees or palms facing up, whatever works for you. And close your eyes. Take a moment here to connect your breath. Notice any sensations going through your body, any tingling, itching, any tension. Notice the subtle qualities of your breath. Are you breathing easy? Is your breath shallow or is it deep? Do you engage your abdomen? Are you breathing into your chest or the back of your chest? And as you're connecting with your breath, let's bring that HA sound, this ha sound, into our breath. Let's start activating our warrior breath. So constricting the throat, breathing in and out through the nose only. The mouth is closed. Still sitting in an easy sitting pose. We're breathing for no particular count, just following the natural rhythm of our breath, except that we are making a conscious effort to really constrict the throat and generate the HA sound as we are getting ready for Sun Salutations. Keep breathing at your own pace, maintaining the easy sitting pose. Remember, your chin is lifted, your shoulders are rolled back and are depressed. Your gaze is straight forward, preferably with your eyes closed. Breathing in and out. In through the nose, out through the nose. Trying to center our mind into that HA sound. If the mind drifts away, no big deal, just bring it back. If it drifts away, no big deal, bring it back again. Maintain your warrior breath. Notice what's happening in your body. For me, I always feel it in my chest and in my throat. They start warming up. Notice how your abdominal muscles are getting activated more and more as you're breathing in this fashion. Notice what's happening with your mind. Hopefully it's slowing down a little bit. Just a couple more breaths in and out. And let's open our eyes. We are now ready for Sun Salutations. So get your blocks out of the way. Get your bolster or pillow out of the way as well. And let's find our Tadasana. So what we're going to do here, we're going to do 3 rounds of Sun Salutations. I like to do everything in threes. There's a reason for that. I'll explain later. So 3 rounds of classical Sun Salutations. You will notice how we will invigorate and warm up our body. And then we're going to finish in a child's pose and then relax in Shavasana. So find your mountain pose. Feet are hip width apart. Remember, tuck in your pelvis. Roll back your shoulders, depress them, and open the palms so that they're facing forward. Lift up your chin and slide it back. Firm up your thighs. Lift your kneecaps for that. Gazing forward. And let's begin. Inhale. Reaching high. And exhale. Folding forward with the knees bent. Exhaling all the way down. Inhaling into flat back, lengthening through the back here. Exhale, folding forward, stepping back with our left leg into low lunge, untucking the toes. Deep inhale here into the entire chest cavity. Exhale, hands go back to the floor, stepping back into plank, lowering all the way down into cobra. Rather, inhaling into cobra. Exhale, tabletop, and then transitioning into downward dog. Hanging around here for just one breath. You can bend one knee after the other, and then step the left foot in between the hands, drop the back knee, inhale, low lunge, exhale, hands go to the floor, untuck your toes, step the foot to bring it closer to the front one, inhale into flat back, exhale, fold forward, inhale, reach all the way up into the sky, connect the palms together, and bring them to mountain pose. Round number 1 is done. Let's try to speed this up a little bit. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale into flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Stepping back this time with the right leg. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, hands go to the floor, stepping back into plank, lowering all the way down to the floor. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, tabletop. And then downward dog. Stepping forward with the right foot in between the hands. Low lunge on the other side. Inhale here. And exhale, hands go to the floor, untuck the toes. Bring the back foot to meet the front. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen, connect the palms together. Bring them into mountain pose. Getting a little bit warmer, right? Round number 3. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale into flat back. Exhale, folding forward, stepping back with the left foot. Inhale into low lunge. Exhale, hands go to the floor, stepping back into plank, lowering all the way down to the floor. Inhale into cobra. Exhale, tabletop, and then followed by downward dog. The left foot goes in between the hands, inhaling into low lunge. Exhaling, hands go back to the floor. Bring the back foot to meet the front. Inhale into flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale all the way up to the sky. And bring in the hands into the mountain pose. So this is where you would proceed with the rest of your yoga practice. We're not quite there yet. We're still learning the steps. So what we're going to do now is we're going to wind down. So stepping down onto our knees, and we're going to extend all the way into the child's pose. Remember, this is our reflective pose where we are taking a break, catching the breath. So notice what's happening with your breath right now. Has it elevated slightly? Is your body a little bit warmer? Were you by any chance practicing the warrior breath as we were going through one pose into another? Chances are that you probably weren't, because this is not a natural thing to do for beginner students. And that's totally fine, but I'm going to keep reminding you at later stages of the practice to start engaging the warrior breath as you're moving through the Sun Salutations. But for now, just make sure that you are linking this movements, the movements of the Sun Salutations, with your breath. So we're just chilling in child's pose. Remember, you have a couple of options here. You can stretch your arms next to your body. Let the gravity pull your shoulders down to the floor. Feels really good. Alternatively, you can try to walk your fingers as far into the front of the mat as possible to bring more stretch into your lats. And if you feel particularly suffocated in this pose, you can open up your knees and let your body fall in between your knees to give your chest and your torso a little bit more room to breathe. Alternatively, you can also have your feet with your toes tucked in to bring your sit bones a little bit higher. Don't overthink and just take the child's pose. It's the most natural pose you can ever take in yoga. And notice what's happening. Just holding it for 2 more breaths. And on the next exhalation, slowly releasing all the way up. And remember the pose that we do all the time at the end of the yoga practice, albeit this one was a bit of a smaller yoga practice. We are going into our Shavasana. So, taking our Shavasana, if you have a block nearby, see if you can put it under your head. Close your eyes. Remember that no matter how rushed you are, you always want to give yourself some time in Shavasana, maybe at least 1 minute, I would say. So feel your body getting a little bit heavier. Feel the floor pushing back into the body. Relax your face. Relax your jaw. Let your fingers naturally curl inwards and your feet, your ankles splay outwards. Do a quick body scan starting with your feet, like an MRI machine scanning from bottom to the top through the entire length of your body. Notice any sensations, any tingling, scratching, itching, anything that your body is alerting you to. Just holding this pose for just a little longer. The general rule of thumb is that the longer our practice, the longer the shavasana, the corpse pose. In this case, we're only on day 5, so our practice is quite short for the time being. So we're not holding shavasana for the full 3 to 4, 5 recommended minutes. So let's take a deep inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Let's take a deep inhale and stretch the arms over our head. Lengthen and tense every single muscle in your body. And exhale, let go. Folding over to one side of our body, tucking the knees into our chest, using the hand as a cushion for our head. And then slowly propping yourselves up into a sitting pose, easy sitting pose. Remember, we are ending in the same pose where we started. Bow your chin. And open your eyes. And we are done. So this is a very super simple yoga sequence. It has all the elements of an actual yoga practice. You're welcome to do this any time of the day. Morning, afternoon, during a lunch break, before you go to bed. It's not super taxing. It's quite rejuvenating. And don't stop at 3 rounds of Sun Salutations. You can do 4, you can do 5, you can do 10. Just be aware that after a while this does get a little bit repetitive and this could get a little bit boring. But for the time being, if you feel like doing more than 3 rounds, by all means do more than 3 rounds. But definitely do not do less than 3 rounds, because 3 is a magical number, and this is really, you need to do it at least 3 times to really start feeling the warmth in your body. So with that being said, practice, practice, practice. Refer back to these lessons if you forget any moves or any poses, and I will see you on day 6.